We're at World Wide Technology Raceway, and the playoffs are underway.
I love it. Hunter Nemechek just blitzed down into turn one and blew the line way wide. And that opens up the door for Hill. I mean, that is just how much intensity all these guys have brought to the playoffs. It's time, and it's now.
Sheldon Creed at orange number 2, challenging Nemechek for second. As you mentioned, Kurt, Nemechek drove it down in there and then had to save it from going through the wall. How about this? 3 wide. Crafton down on the bottom in the 88. Chandler Smith and Christian Eckes with him.
Wow, what action we saw in this first lap. Crafton almost spun out off turn 2, gathered that truck up and charged forward. This track is really tricky, Kurt. We talked about the 2 differing ends as far as making and the radius of the turns. You could have a truck that's working good in 1 and 2, get down to 3 and 4, and it'll go away.
Absolutely. This is a track very similar to Phoenix, except it's a little bit bigger with the straightaway length. And then you have these flat corners with the curving on the inside, similar to a road course. But the key thing to any racetrack right now with these tires is when the track sits all day, the track is super slick. Like Creed down to the bottom. Back to St. Sid, my bad. Zane putting it down in there, picking up 3rd spot. There's some guys that'll charge hard early when the track is slick, and that's going to pay dividends, especially with the pit strategy calls being locked in tonight.
What about the battle for the lead?
Sheldon Creed going to the front. Last year's winner.
Whoa. Hang on to it, bud.
Wow. Contact there.
Yeah, got a handful.
Yeah, Eckes was all in there. Crafton's looking to make the move and capitalize on those guys.
There's Tyler Ankrum in the 26 going with Crafton, getting around Eckes. The 19 of Darren Krause there pressuring Nemechek in the 4. As you look at Eric Phillips, the crew chief for John Hunter Nemechek, you don't see that worried look on his face very often.
Look at Stuart Priest, and he put the bumper right next to the 4 truck, and then here comes Eckes on the inside. They make contact. That could cut that left rear tire down. You can see the Goodyear lettering is rubbed off. I'd be a little bit concerned right now if I'm that team. See the brakes on the front heating up pretty good too. Just isn't handling like I think he expected early, and he's falling back. We haven't seen that basically all year, Kurt.
Sheldon Creed continues to lead the way here in the early laps of stage 1, and there's Chris Hacker, the 21-year-old, making his debut. And that smoke coming out of the back end of that Toyota Tundra, and they had to bring him to pit road, and you see pushing him back behind the wall.
Look at this mess, Vince. This has been an intense battle. Stuart Friesen and Matt Crafton, both faster than the 99 of Ben Rhodes right now, but neither one of them are able to get by Rhodes. And look at the backup. You see Abrams joined this as well. They have been going at it. What I love, though, what Gilman's doing there. He took a step back, tried to run the high side, look at it. Nice run off turn 4, closed right back in, seeing if there's another groove up top that he can use, but the bottom is where the speed is.
Oh, he just made a nice crossover. Nice and easy into 1. He's down side by side down the back straightaway, and he's going to have to push her on in there, but then hold the bottom. Make sure Austin Hill doesn't squeak back underneath him. There you go. Textbook style pass at this racetrack.
Problems for one of our playoff teams, Chandler Smith, and that 18 group. A lot of smoke coming out the back end, and I think it blew up, but
no, we were
take a look at it.
Riding on board, Vince, and you can see the smoke starts to billow out the back, but we didn't hear anything amiss under the hood. The engine sounded clean, Kurt, so probably an oil line of some sort, transmission rear end.
Yeah, and he reported that all the gauges look fine. I'm puzzled by this one. Let's send it on down to Regan. You got some info for us?
Well, guys, he did mention all the gauges were fine on this truck. He had oil pressure. Everything looked good. The team just yelled back across the wall and said right rear hub on this race truck. So basically where the right rear tire connects to, they've got an issue with that hub. And you see he's going to have to go behind the wall. A tough break for this 18 team that had a lot of confidence coming into the playoffs.
Boy, you got that right, especially here. He had a really good run going here last year. Spun with about the halfway point, but thought they were going to be a contender. They really felt they had a truck to do that last year, and that confidence coming back this season. So it is heartbreaking for this 18 team out of the Kyle Busch Motorsports camp for Chandler Smith.
Setback as well. I mean, you have all season long to get into playoffs, and then some part failure, probably an O-ring or something, some $5 piece takes away your shot right away at the championship. championship run, but we'll see if they can bounce back. We got a restart. We've got our GMS trucks on the front row battling down into turn 1.
26 laps to go here in stage 1. Zane Smith on the inside, and that white truck, the 2 in the orange, is Sheldon Creed. Smith gets the better of this restart.
And the teams will all make note of that, Vince. We saw Creed take the top, thinking that would be the fast way down into turn 1, but Zane Smith powered to the bottom, took the lead away, so the spotters will say, okay, that's what happened on that restart. What do we do next time?
Exactly. It's always awesome. Oh, he's pushing them all the way down into the fuzz down there. 4 wide, 3 wide now. And Nemechek is still struggling to get going on these restarts. Right now, just seeing Nemechek struggling to get going on these restarts. Not getting the right amount of heat in the tires. And all these guys just back and forth.
Tanner Gray was in a bind there, loose down in the corner. Look at him, 3 wide again, crosses on the bottom. Will he go to the fuzz again?
Caution is out, and the 0-4 involved in that as Corey Roper. We saw the 3 of Jordan Anderson right there with him.
Nemechek sideways, and in the back, around goes the 0-4.
Jordan Anderson had to make an evasive move there up top to avoid the 0-4. Close call there for the 3 truck. There will be 17 laps to go in stage 1, and these restarts have been crazy.
They go jamming through the gears, and let's see what Creed has got for Zane Smith. He knows what he did wrong last time, and he's got to try to hang on his right rear and push him out, but he can't quite hold on to him. Zane Smith clears him, takes the lead. He goes.
You saw Gilliland slip back a couple of spots, and Jamie reported having a little trouble on those restarts as the 38. He's trying to now fend off the 52. Losing another spot on the outside is Gilliland.
Uh-oh, we got caution
back out again for the 3rd time, and it's Jake Griffith. The 51, Griffith making his series debut. And that's the 2nd truck out of the Kyle Busch camp that's had problems tonight. The 18 of Chandler Smith behind the wall, and now the 51 of Griffith has damage on the rear end. You get yourself in a lot of trouble on these restarts. Zane Smith on the outside, Sheldon Creed inside.
Now he chose outside, and Creed's going to put it down in there on the inside. It's 50-50 so far on inside versus outside.
I love what Stuart Friesen is doing. He's up to 3rd in that 52 truck. Hasn't been a great season for this team, but they're getting some speed out of that 52 right now.
Only 4 top 10s for Friesen, but boy, where they have come from in the 2 years since they went out on their own. Last season, at the beginning of last year, they barely even had a toolbox to start their team, and now they're in the playoffs running for a championship, and that is a big accomplishment for that Halmar group.
There's a lot going on in this first stage, and look, looks like Friesen's got a good run off too. That's where Zane Smith struggled, and Creed was able to pick up the lead from him.
That's for 2nd.
And that's Friesen moving up into 2nd to grab that ultimate 1-point advantage over the case of the playoffs here.
And I want to tell you what, Kurt, you know this is Rhodes dives to the bottom one thing. This, what Friesen is doing, this is building confidence. Every lap that he's driving past trucks and going up toward the front, they've struggled a bit this year. Like I mentioned, only a couple of top 10 finishes, but yet here he is closing on the leader late in this first stage.
And ultimately, it's going to put him on the front row for stage 2, and he'll have a chance at taking the lead. But right now, it's Creed.
Sheldon Creed, the stage win, just his 2nd stage win of the season. Stage 2 is green.
Let's see how this plays out. Friesen's going to toss her down in there.
I didn't have any doubt about that. He ain't afraid.
I love those dirt track guys.
I was thinking when Sheldon Creed took the high side, you better make sure you understand who you're putting on the bottom, because you're not going to get anything but 100% out of the 52 truck. He's on the switch every lap.
One end of the track's a little bit tighter down here in turns 1 and 2. Sometimes you hear him downshift, and then now you're trying to put the power down, and the truck wants to jump sideways off of turn 2 as it's in that 3rd gear, and they'll grab 4th down the back.
We've got a power outage here at the racetrack after a 48-minute red flag. The lights are back on, and the racing is going strong.
Clean restart for Creed. He's going to jump out there handsomely.
Going to bring Ben Rhodes with him too. You see John Hunter up on the outside trying to make a little bit of noise for the first time tonight.
10 laps left here in stage 2, as you see Sheldon Creed, the leader, and the playoff drivers, we mentioned it earlier, but they've got that blue spoiler on the back of the truck. The splitter there in the front is blue, a blue banner across the top of the windshield, signifying that they are playoff drivers.
I like to look at Crafton's truck with that, Vince, because it's yellow. And you know when you see the blue on his windshield and his blue spoiler in the back that he's a playoff guy, as you see the same with the 21 of Zane. What's going on there, I wonder? He's got issues.
We've talked about the fact that he has been falling back. We heard Jamie Howe report that he was not comfortable with the truck, and this is not a good sign for another one of our playoff teams, Jamie.
As he brought the car down pit lane, he told the team that he was coming off of 3 and 4, and it just spun out on him, or it's not spun out, but it turned out on him. So that confidence issue is just getting worse and worse as the team takes a look around it.
Hey, look who's back, Vince.
Yep.
Chandler Smith, we talked about him making his way back to the track. He hears about the problems that Zane Smith has. He knows Carson Hocevar is off the pace, so he's just out there doing his job, working his butt off, running as good a lap time as he can, just trying to get everything he can out of this race after the disappointment early. 1 lap to go. And yeah, I should point out, I referenced Austin Wayne Self being a lapped vehicle, trying to stay away from being a lapped vehicle behind Creed, but that's when you drive some of your best laps, isn't it? When you got the leader on your tail, he's like, I gotta go.
Leader's 1 truck back, and it's like, boom, you pick up 3 tenths. What? Yeah, Creed's going to win this one. Right on, double up on the stages. He's going to be a tough guy to beat here towards the end of this race.
And that team's got to be thinking, with the speed and the performance of this truck, taking that green and white checker flag, they got to be looking forward to Phoenix. I mean, they got to focus on the rest of the playoffs, but man, they got to feel good about what's ahead.
Sheldon Creed wins stage 2. Well, that's the 4th time that Creed has swept both stages. Creed and Rhodes on the front row, the final stage underway at Gateway.
Hunter Nemechek's got to put a block on Majeski. He's able to hold him off, but that's going to take away his offensive ability to make any kind of moves.
Crafton slipped there too. Looked like maybe he could get. He did get on the outside of the 99. That's what he's been looking to do.
And he did it. He's clear.
Got the position. 2nd for Matt Crafton. 3rd is Rhodes. The 4 of Nemechek is 4th, and a little bit of contact between Nemechek and Rhodes.
Nemechek said, I'm ready to roll. Didn't quite get in there though.
And then stacked him up behind him. Look at that.
And the problem. Ankrum, Gilliland involved.
Something's wrong with the 4 truck too.
Yes, absolutely. The 4 had a problem, and when trucks jumped out to avoid the contact, big collision. The 66 of Majeski. Oh, what a shame. He's had such a good night tonight.
Yes, he has. There's
another playoff driver, Austin Hill, with a problem. Heavy damage.
Todd Gilliland, a lot of damage as well. Jake Griffin in the 45.
Man, that took out a lot of quality trucks.
Another playoff driver, Todd Gilliland. Boy, it has been a tough night on the playoff guys.
This is John Hunter getting into the back of Ben Rhodes. It looks like no problem yet. And then down the front, right there.
Yeah, right there.
And that's why Ankrum got turned. I think Gilliland was right on the back of Ankrum, wouldn't you say? And when he let off to not keep from running over the 4 truck of Nemechek, that started this mess.
Yeah, and it's nobody's fault. I mean, it's the whole accordion effect, but man, nobody's expecting a truck to just die in the middle of the straightaway. Wow, and there was something else way back as well. About 10 trucks back.
A couple of those trucks. Nice job by Grant Enfinger slipping through that.
Crafton spun the tires a little bit, but Friesen couldn't jump on him. Rhodes outside of Crafton. Creed gets off for the lead.
Look at Derek Krauser on the outside of Friesen.
Oh, Enfinger didn't go. Now the hood is up on the front. He's trying to avoid disaster, and others trying to get around him.
Well, he turned the lights off on him. It's a little dark. You can't quite see where he's going.
Bad break for Enfinger.
That might bring out a yellow because he cannot see anything.
Still green as Creed crosses the line. The championship favorite with big problems, Hunter Nemechek. His night started off rocky, and it has fallen off the cliff at this point. He has gone behind the wall, and Regan, it's not good.
Yeah, Vince, that's absolutely correct. He actually went into turn 1 the lap before he came down pit road. Said something broke down the backstretch after he had something break into turn 1. The left front tire went flat. They came in to change tires, got the tire off, realized the brake rotor on the left front of this truck had broken in half. Bigger issues than what they needed. They had to go behind the wall to fix it. A very tough break for the driver that's dominated the regular season.
Yeah, he knew it right away. And again, like this oval here, this is 1.25 miles. Tight turns 1 and 2, gives you that road course type of braking down into the corner.
13 to go. Sheldon Creed out front. Oh, how about that tight squeeze? Chris Wright just on the outside. I don't want to take any unnecessary chances. Creed has been dominant tonight. He won stage 1, he won stage 2. 4th time in his career that he swept the first 2 stages, but in the previous 3 he had not been able to finish the deal.
There's Hocevar trying to get around the 15, and the round goes.
You jinxed it, Vince.
Oh, and that's going to be the caution that
wait, if he gets it going,
Crafton.
If he gets it going,
oh, they're going to keep it.
No,
Oh,
that's caution.
I was going to say he spun, he hit the wall. You got to throw caution on that.
Look at that
frustration.
Look at this.
Jeff Stankiewicz can't believe it.
We may as well throw in a green-white checker tonight, just because.
Yes,
right.
I agree.
Just what Rhodes and Crafton, Friesen, they all needed it if they were going to have a shot.
This was a slow restart.
Crafton did a nice job on the bottom.
Good. They got
Overtime for the win in the playoff opener. Creed getting the jump on the outside. Crafton slips into that second spot. Rhodes in third.
You picked it, Mikey. Crafton picked up second.
Yes, sir. Nice job by the veteran Crafton. Now can he get to the back tailgate of the 2 truck of Creed? Creed's so strong, he drives away.
The white flag is out. The next flag will end it. Caution or checkers.
Haley Deegan in a tight battle back there with Jack Wood, Taylor Gray, all for the top 10, and they get together.
Oh, into the wall. Ryan Truex still green. Sheldon Creed continues to lead down the backstretch. Matt Crafton trying to get to the bumper. Not going to be able to do it. Sheldon Creed is going to survive overtime and win for the 2nd time this season. Back-to-back at World Wide Technology for Sheldon Creed.
That was an impressive performance to kick off the playoffs for that group.